Now let's see how we can run an actual ARP poisoning attack and redirect the flow of packets and make it flow through our device. We're going to talk about a tool called ARP Spoof, which is part of a suite called DSNF. DSNF is a tool that contains a number of programs that can be used to launch man-in-the-middle attacks. We're going to talk about ARP Spoof only, and we're going to see how to use it to carry an ARP poisoning, which would redirect the flow of packets through our device. ARP Spoof is an old tool, but it still works, and because it's so simple, it's been ported to Android, iOS, and other smaller operating systems. Therefore, and there's a lot of people that actually like to use it to do ARP poisoning. That's why we're gonna show how to use this tool. In the next video and all the videos after that, we're gonna use a tool called EtherCap. We'll see how we use it and how we do ARP poisoning in that tool. But for this video, I just want to show you how to use ARP Spoof because it's going to be used a lot, so you need to know how to use it. It's very simple anyway. So I'm connected now to the target network, and my wireless card is in managed mode, not in monitor mode, because we only want the packets that are directed to our device. So let's see how we use the tool. It's going to be ARP Spoof. I to choose our Wi-Fi card, so it's LAN 0. Then we're gonna put the target IP address. So my target is this Windows device. If we go IP config, we'll see its IP, and that's its IP. It's 192.168.169. So then we will put the IP address for the access point, which is 192.168.1.1. This will tell the access point that the client IP address has my MAC address. So basically it's going to tell the access point that I am the target client. After this, we're going to have to run ARP Spoof again. So I'm just going to copy it. Actually, let me copy it properly. And instead of telling the access point that I am the target client, I'm going to tell the client that I am the access point. So we're just going to flip the IPs. So by running these two commands, we're going to fool the access point and the client, and we're going to let the packets flow through our device. Now let me just show you in the target, this is the target device again. I'm going to show you the ARP table. So if I just go ARPA, it's going to show me this is the ARP table. So we can see that this is the IP address for the access point, and we can see its MAC address. It's stored in this ARP table. Now once we do the attack, you'll see that the MAC address here for the target access point is going to change, and it's going to be my attacker IP address, MAC address. So let's do it and see what happens. I'm gonna hit enter here, and I'm gonna hit enter here. Now we'll also need to do something called enabling IP forwarding. We do that so when the packets flow through our device, they don't get dropped, so that each packet that gets through our device gets actually forwarded to its destination. So when we get a packet from the router, it goes to the client, and when a packet is coming from the client, should go to the router without being dropped in our device. So we're gonna enable it using this command, and that's it enabled. Now let's just go to the target device and have a look on the ARP table, and as you can see, the MAC address here is different than the MAC address there. Even though they're both pointing to the access point, you can see that the access point now have a different MAC address, and this MAC address is the MAC address for the attacker device. Let me just confirm that to you. If I if config lan 0, you'll see that this MAC address is the same one as the one that this device think that the access point has. So this device now thinks the attacker device is the access point, and every time it tries to tries to access the internet, or every time it tries to communicate with the access point, it's going to send these requests to the attacker device instead of sending it to the actual access point. This will place our attacker device in the middle of the connection, and we will be able to read the packets and do fun stuff with it. We're gonna see how we do that in the next videos. So for now, we just need to know how to do a basic ARP poisoning. We're gonna need to do this on every time we try to do a man-in-the-middle attack.